like, "Hey, I'm hanging out with Mike," because we weren't recording, and I'm like, I wasn't doing anything. I would love to play on the Switch sometime, but I guess not. So, no, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but as much as I love Carrie, we did not have plans for Valentine's. In fact, we purposely did not. And if you want to, and I don't know, invite me over, I can always say no. But anyway, I'm not trying to whine like a bitch or something. So, and if I have, then mission accomplished. I'm glad you guys had a good time. And I
mean, we had Mexican food, and then we played some NES, and then he went home.
Yeah, that sounds like an exciting Thursday night.
Yeah. It did wonders for my mental state, well-being, though. So.
Good. What? Did you play on the Classic, or did you play on the Switch?
No, on the Switch. There's a NES thing there that has a handful of NES games.
Yeah. So we played like some Balloon Fight and Double Dragon and a couple other things.
Oh, Double Dragon.
Yeah, we played a bunch of 2-player games and Double Dragon because we forgot the first one wasn't co-op. It was the second one.
Yeah, it's 2-player, but you just trade back and forth playing.
Which doesn't count.
No.
That was the one in that movie with the wizard kid. Power Glove.
You got 50,000 on Double Dragon? No, that's not even a number in Double... What?
That's why he was so surprised.
I guess it could be. I never actually looked at the score in Double Dragon because the score literally doesn't matter.
There's a score counter up there, but I imagine it wouldn't take very long to get to 50,000.
There are scores in games where the score really, really, really doesn't matter.
I mean, at that point, it was just a holdover from arcade cabinets where every game had scores somehow because you needed to have a scoreboard, so you knew who had bragging rights about who was the best.
Exactly. All right. Well, I think that's long enough to make sure that the actual video has started recording. So
should be.
Let's get to it, shall we?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jam! Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mana Pool. This is episode 543 of the Mana Pool, and this is very... Okay, maybe they're not very special anymore, but this is a special episode because we're doing another of the MTG RPG.
They're fair. I mean, I think we've done less than 10, right? I haven't been keeping track, but...
Yeah.
So... Yes, so we're doing the Magic RPG. We usually do introductions, but since I'm the GM, I'll go first. I'm the Brian. I'm the Brian. I am, in fact, your Brian for this evening. I'm the lead rambler, tangent master. I talk a lot, and that's why I'm a perfect fit for the GM. So I'll be directing these guys and seeing how cruel I can be to them. Mwahaha. You guys need to stop lighting the woods on fire. Away.
I don't think we do.
So who are you, Chewy?
I think the woods need to stop trying to kill us. I am Chewy, but I am the angel. I have a sword. And spoilers, it was my handwriting. Dun dun dun. That's all I remember about last week's episode.
Good, because we didn't
attack the crazy wizard dude who was going to explode on us. Did we? No, we didn't. Because he didn't explode on us. Next.
All right, I'm Mike. For regular Magic, I'm the rules guy and the game lore guy. But for this, I'm Kareem, the red-aligned human soldier.
And I am Dirk, the self-proclaimed greenest man alive and moral compass of the group. And I am Alaric, the green monk.
Who is damn good with bow and arrow.
tends to save the party.
Yes.
So, we were joking before the episode that I would give like a last time on kind of recap. just as a side note, there was a little while there. You guys remember the show Smallville? There was,
Yes.
Unfortunately.
it wasn't that bad, but there
Somebody save me.
there were some. I thought they did a good job of trying to stay consistent, which I like about shows. But anyway, there was a brief period of time there where, like, halfway through the episode, they would do a mini recap, and it's literally like, Clark, oh no, you've lost your powers, because that happens every episode right before the commercial break, and then the commercial break is over, and it's like, last time on Smallville, Clark, you lost your powers. Now rejoining Smallville, Clark, what do I do without my powers? And you're like, is this necessary? Is this really necessary for half an hour? But so now that I've spent all that time talking about something that's not necessary, last time on when we were in this, the guys started walking around in the woods as they do. They were trying to make their way toward a tower because they thought that they could get some answers there. And first, they wandered through the woods and they found a windbrisk raptor. And they talked about, do we try to kill it? What do we want to do? I think Chewie made a point of saying, I want some eggs to go with my bacon, because they're carrying around copious amounts of bacon. But ultimately they decided, live and let live. And so they were able to kind of skirt that issue a bit. Then they came across a morph creature, a creature that obviously it had the appearance of a morphed creature from the original Onslaught block, so it had that kind of shell look to it. And the guys were like, hey, Angel, use your spiritual awareness to see if you can tell what's going on here. And she's like, fire and, some kind of bad thing. And maybe we shouldn't bother with it. But then she took out her sword and pointed it at it, and it broke out, and it was a blistering fire cat. She tried to stab it, almost got melted in the process. Kareem threw a knife at it, and the knife melted. But Alaric the Awesome shot it with an arrow, and then and killed it, and then had the guts to ask me, "Can I get the arrow back?" And I said no. So good time was had by all. So they did eventually make their way to the tower, and I'm trying to pull up my notes right here. The name of the tower is, that's not the right section, Noatun, and it's a red tower, and they kind of came at it from the north. It's covered with all sorts of interesting plants, and as they got closer to it, they could hear some yelling and what sounded like somebody babbling to themselves, but at a very high pitch. So they go around the tower and found Zakesu, who was a merfolk, not a merfolk, a moonfolk, a Soratami. And originally I was saying, yeah, he's blue colored, and these guys didn't know what he was like. And apparently they were like, no, moonfolk are white. And, I'm like, racist, but whatever. So Zaketsu was mumbling to himself, and when they tried to engage him to calm him down, he seemed to be unable to control his own powers. He shrank Kareem for a minute, and the angel was like, hey, now I can poke fun at you, but he started to regrow later. And then he shot a little bit of this and that, and he accidentally summoned a raptor. But it was clear that he was not in his right mind. He had encountered, or he described encountering, some kind of root from Drazil, and there was something wrong with the root, and somehow some of the mana seeped into his body, and he couldn't help it anymore. He was at the tower trying to get fixed. He's looking for Donathir. He can't find Donathir, blah, 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 blah. He said they had found some letters for Donathir, and then as the guys go into the tower to try and get away from him, they kind of go into the first alcove, find they can't proceed any further, and meanwhile, Zakesu blows himself up, along with the poor dinosaur. Aw.
Aww.
And when the guys hunker down for the night in the shadow of the tower, but they specifically told me not close enough that the phytohydras can eat them, they started going through those letters, and they were messages that had been left at the tower for Donathir. And there were a couple there. One from Eichelnir telling Donathir that the key he requested had been forged. Another one from Aristada commending Donathir on his progress. And there was one that did not have a signature on it, that said, "Sire is coming along well, should be ready to assist you soon." And the angel looked at it and said, "Wait a minute, that's my handwriting.
Dun dun dun.
But I don't remember writing it." And it was clear that what had been written on a long time ago, like not even last week, just like a long time ago. But she doesn't remember anything about it because she doesn't remember much of anything. Does she remember the mending happening, or is that not even clear? Have we not established that yet?
We have not had a need to establish that.
Then we will not establish it right now. So you get a good, and that brings you up to speed. So you wake up in the morning. No more Zakesu. You've read the notes. You've got questions. I may or may not have answers. You got the tower, and you've realized you can't go any further in the tower because the door is locked. You did get a couple directions. I can refresh you on some of those if you want, because I'm not requiring you to take notes, but there are a couple directions you can head in. So, talk amongst yourselves, figure out where you want to go.
I do have one question, Brian.
Okay.
Am I getting drunk?
There it was.
No. Hey, you're the one that, when you went to the bar, the other two got wasted, and you were like the DD. Or I guess, is it a DW? Because you're just walking at this point. So.
Wow.
Call DW. Anyway. So.
Yeah, so speaking outside of the game, it was strongly hinted that we were supposed to go visit the person in that place to the north first.
Icolnir?
Yes.
And we're supposed to not be fooled by her appearance, according to my notes.
Hey.
Yes, that's also right.
Chewie took notes. Yeah. Do you remember who said that? Who told you that?
Was that Shurek?
Very good. All right.
Nice.
Very good. So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. As we're having trouble getting in a door, now speaking in the game again, so we're having trouble getting in a door, and someone left a letter about Icolnir having a key for something. Seems like a promising lead to follow up on.
You know, Shorty.
He's
probably not wrong.
By now. He's been back up to full height since before he went to sleep. But you can keep calling him Shorty.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to keep calling him Shorty because for a while there, he was extremely short.
Kareem.
I was only 80% of my normal height.
Hey, shut up.
Kareem the Blood-Fisted Shorty. I like how his title is just getting longer.
Excuse me, I'm choking on my own
I'll be part
joke.
of that big long list of titles they read out when I'm finally king.
Kareem the Blood-Fisted. The Shorty.
All right. Well, then, should we head towards Nivelier?
Okay.
That's the place in the north where Icolnir is apparently located.
Very good. All right, so who's leading the party on this here trekking?
I mean, our guy.
I'm usually the one doing the trekking since I have the proficiency in it.
That you do. So are you heading? So you're at the tower right now.
Mm-hmm.
Nivelier, if you look at your map, because I'm sure everybody is, their handy dandy map is to the north, and from where the tower is, you can tell it's ever so slightly to the west. So you want to head north and then head west, or kind of just cut a diagonal a little bit.
So wait, is Nivelier that place that's directly north of the tree?
Yeah.
Or is it the place that's northeast of the tree?
Which tree?
The tree.
The big tree.
The tree. It's to the northeast of the tree.
Okay.
The one directly north of the tree is a place you've already been. It's called Tyr.
Oh, right, that's Tyr. Okay. So, sorry, listener, I don't have a way to point at the screen so you know what I'm talking about.
I am right now, but they can't see it.
Yeah.
Point.
I am too. I'm using my mouse. I'm like, it's right here, but they don't see that. Hang on.
Use my finger.
I have an arrow. Let's see how this looks. insert image. We called arrow. Well, let's see how bad this is. I think this arrow is actually massive. Boom. Aha! Okay, so now we make it smaller. Whoop. And this, I think, is where Brian is talking about that we should go. This is where we are. This tower. There we go. This is the big tree. This is tier. And right there, I think, is where we're going.
So, Brian, you're asking about how we want to get there. I mean, Are there any obvious geographical features to follow, or would we just be cutting through the woods either way?
You'll just be cutting through the woods.
Okay.
At least at first. It is in a mountainous region.
Uh-huh.
But from where you are right now, I shouldn't give you too much outside. From where you are right now, you can't really see the mountains too well. You have a good idea of which way is north because you did get that copy of the map, so that's helping you out a little bit. But you just basically see woods around you. After the tower is in the middle of a big clearing, and as soon as you're outside of the clearing, you have some woods and some deeper jungles.
Oh man, should we try to forge any bonds to the whatever?
You already forged a bond to the clearing around the tower. You can't forge a bond with the tower, and you got another planes. The other two tried and failed.
Obviously,
so they can try again if they want, or they can save that attempt for later in the day.
Nah.
For wherever they end up.
I'll probably do it while we're traveling.
Okay. So let's just start with, taking the direct route there, and then when we get to the mountains, see what makes sense.
Sounds good. So take the direct route. So Mr. Mike, I need you to go ahead and pull up that map. 7, 6. Okay, I need you to go ahead and roll a d6, please.
D6. Tried to guess at which die, but I picked the wrong one. Okay, D6. I got a 2 on the die.
Got a 2.
My trekking skill is 2.
It is 2. Right.
Check.
All right. Tells me what I need to know. Scroll down here. Oh, okay. All right. So you go ahead and start to enter the jungle in a slightly north by west direction. You start to get a little deeper into it, and you start to enter what appears to be a more densely packed jungle setting. The humidity around you is noticeably higher. It's more humid. It's warmer than it had been even just a couple feet back. And you go ahead and enter a clearing that appears to be uninhabited. You don't see any kind of vegetation. You don't see any particular kind of dangerous animals. It appears to be just sparsely vegetated, and and that's pretty much it. It's just your basic clearing. You don't see any sources of water. It's just some trees.
What up, trees?
Nothing about it is particularly interesting and or stands out to you.
Okay, well, I guess I'll gleefully continue on my way and get attacked by an invisible threat.
All right, so you're passing through this area.
Yes.
Yes.
What order are you in?
I'm probably in front.
You're in front. Who's taking up the rear?
Me.
You're in the rear.
I know what you're looking at back there, by the way, Alaric, and I don't appreciate it.
As you attempt to pass through what appears to be the uninhabited clearing, Alaric is attacked suddenly from behind by a fleetfoot panther.
Oh,
and, Dirk, go ahead and roll a d6, please.
6.
I should actually get some dice out. So when you tell me to roll something.
1.
What? Oh, okay.
Well, Dirk's dead.
It rushes at you. You were completely unprepared for the attack, and it gores you in the leg, and you topple over and you start bleeding profusely from the leg. You do manage to yell to the others, "What's going on?" And they turn around and they see this giant panther standing over you, raising its paw to attack you. You have a power of 2 and a toughness of 3. This thing has already eaten through your toughness, so you are down and you are bleeding. So you don't get to take an action.
Has
Angel,
he taken any damage to his hit points yet? Or
he's not
yet?
taking any damage to his hit points, but his toughness is gone. Mike, I'm sorry. The angel is next in line, the first one to actually see this. What action do you want to take?
Okay, hang on. I would like. I'm just carrying a sword, pretty much, right? As far as weapons goes, yeah. I guess I should turn around and whip out my sword and take a swipe at the damn panther before it mauls our poor Alaric.
Okay. So you're gonna go ahead and take a swing at that there panther. I would say you're probably fairly close to him, so you can go ahead and take that attack. Why don't you go ahead and roll yourself? You've still got your claymore, right? So,
yeah.
All right, and you're fairly close to this. So why don't you go ahead and roll a D12, please?
12?
Do you have a D12?
Hell, I don't know. What's a 12 look like?
It has 12
I'm
sides.
sitting here trying to fish out some dice,
Looks
so I
like
grabbed
a
a 10 and a 6
Dodecahedron,
and a 20.
but smaller,
Thank you, Dick.
or with fewer sides.
All right, hang on. I'm dumping dice out. I've got a gazillion d20s here.
Just roll a d20 and subtract 8. It'll be fine.
Shut up, Mike.
Alternatively, roll a d6 and add 2.
What if he gets a 1?
I seriously don't appear to have a d12. How is that possible?
I don't know. I thought you had one. Do you need one of us to roll something for you?
I mean, you're gonna have to if I'm gonna determine what's going on here. I could have sworn. Why do I not? Wait. Oh, I've got separate little box of dice right here. That's why. That I had pulled out separately for this particular thing, and apparently it's the only D12. Yeah, there it is. Wait, is this a 12? Yeah, this is a 12. Okay. Yeah, Stark said, quick chat, give me a random number between 1 and 12. All right, here we go. Wait.
Dojeka, what on?
Okay, let me roll it this way like that. And I rolled... Okay, I know you're not going to believe me. But I actually rolled a straight 12.
Okay. You rolled a straight 12?
Yeah. That's impressive. I don't have the webcam on, or I just turn it and point at the thing here. Hang on. Okay, chat. Where? Boom. Wait, right. Oh, for God's sake. I can't actually turn the camera. It's right here. Hang on, let me... Okay,
now we're just looking at your pants.
I'm sliding them out without moving anything because it landed right. Okay, see? Right there. Don't look at my pants.
All right, so I mean, I believe you. This whole thing is on the honor system. That's why Dirk told us he got a 1. What part of the panther are you aiming for? It's standing over him.
I was doing something horizontal, like right above.
Horizontal.
Right at like mid mass. It's wherever.
Okay, I was gonna say horizontal right above it isn't gonna do a whole lot.
Swish. So I meant like right above Dirk. You know what I mean,
Right
Dirk.
above Dirk. Okay. All right. So you go ahead and you basically cut it in half. half of it is at, yeah, you managed to do that really well. It is now in two pieces, the bottom half and the top half. Like if you were going to make a centaur out of this thing, you'd have both parts that you need for, and then you just need something else. That like
Oh, dude, we
literally
could-
down the middle.
I could find a guy and cut him in half, and we can make a centaur and a panther man. Do we have
So
any random guys
congratulations.
around here?
Would it be a man cat or a cat man?
So congratulations, the Fleetfoot Panther is dead, and your Alaric is bleeding out. So
I think I have.
Anybody-
Don't I have a thing? Hang on, I've got
Got something, yeah.
blessed healing. Although I don't have what that does handy.
you have Blessed Healing, which if I look at my direction,
It removes
It
up to
also
2
removes
damage.
up to 2 damage from target creature or planeswalker.
so technically he hasn't taken any hit point damage yet, but he's in somewhat of a critical shape. So if you
I mean, do we have anything that says stops bleeding, or are we hand waving here?
we're kind of hand waving a little bit
Okay.
here. So if you
Yeah, and I don't think there's any. No, it doesn't look like there's any. There's nothing on the physical skills list for first aid or anything.
no, which again, this is all a work in progress.
Nothing on
This-
social skills either.
the skills is one, the skills list is one of the things that I have been most wanting to get to and revise, but
I mean, should I
Give
use
it-
my cooking skill, or I mean, what do we do here?
well, if you want to if you want to go ahead and cast your Blessed Healing, then I think we can probably just say that the wounds close and he's lost a little bit of blood, but I'm not going to give him his toughness back right away. That'll regenerate with time, but it'll stop him from dying. So is that what
Since
you
we're
want to
no
do?
longer in combat, I don't need to draw mana and wait and do
No.
a thing. I'll blessed healing him.
Hey, look at that. So Kareem is Mike. So I'm not gonna make this mistake this time where I always mix up Kareem and Alaric. Alaric's wounds close, but
You mean
he's
Alaric?
obviously Alaric. What'd I say?
Alaric.
Alaric. Alaric. His wounds close,
Stave.
but he's obviously shaken and a bit weak. But you managed to get him to his knees, and kind of like get him upright.
Hey, buddy. Why don't you watch out for those Panthers next time?
Just what's he snuck up on me is what it was. Blackest land I ever saw.
I just like that now Dirk literally owes his life to Chewie. So,
Correct.
all right, so you got a dead
And
body.
Alaric owes his life to the angel now, too. Ho!
Yeah.
You got a dead body that's in two parts. You can loot it if you want, but it's a panther. It's just guts. So,
I was gonna say, if the Panther is carrying a diamond ring, I want to talk to somebody.
this isn't a beetle, right? Do you want to rest up here for a while, or do you want to just keep pushing on?
Well, Mr. GM, how does that affect Alaric's wound?
Well, right now, he's got his toughness wiped out. If you want to sit and rest a while, then we can say that he'll go ahead and get a toughness or two back, depending on how long you want to wait. But he is in a physical condition where he can carry on. The longer he stays active, the more slowly he's going to recover.
Okay. Well, what do you guys think? I'm all for hanging out for a little while if it means we don't potentially have Dirk's head lopped off. I mean, Alaric's head lopped off.
Yeah, if he needs to take a break, that's fine.
Ooh, while he's doing that, I'm going to do that thing I did in earlier episodes and fly up and look around. Wait, are we in a clearing where there's sky, or is there no sky?
There's a little bit of sky. You're in the jungle, so there's a fairly dense canopy, but you can see an opening toward the middle of the clearing where the branches don't quite intertwine. So
Alright.
why don't you roll yourself a d6 there? You've got a flying bonus of 1, so
2.
you roll a 2.
What? No, 2. I have a flying bonus of 2.
You have a flying bonus of 2? Okay, I guess I didn't record that correctly. I apologize. That's a
was that?
1.
Oh, hey, Keeper Boy just resubbed.
Okay.
8
So you have a
months.
flying bonus
Thanks, buddy.
of 2.
Yeah, and I rolled a 2.
See, that's what I thought you said. Okay. All right. So for where you are, all right, you're able to almost get to the top of the of the clearing, but you notice as you go up that even though there does appear to be some light coming through the canopy, as you get closer, you find that the branches are a little more intertwined than you thought. So you're not quite able to pierce the canopy. So from the top of the canopy, you can look around a little bit, but all you can see is jungle. So
I was really afraid you were going to say, well, there's some light up there. When you get up higher, you see that it's a helicopter. Like, what? What?
what?
Exactly.
It's a bit random even for me. So, and then a snake bites you and you die.
Damn it.
No.
Every time.
Okay. No, you can't really see anything of any note. Just
okay. Well, let's hang
jungle,
out
jungle, jungle.
however long we want to hang out and let Alaric not get sepsis or whatever.
How long do you want to hang out for?
I don't know. We don't know how that affects healing. So
How many toughness does Alaric want to grow back?
yeah.
Let's just go. Let's do 2.
2?
2
All right.
toughness.
Okay. Well, then we'll say you hang out for about 4 hours, have some lunch, all that good stuff.
So can we skin the cat for pelt or anything of that sort?
If you want. It's a little messy, but sure.
I mean,
You got a knife,
Do we?
or
need
technically
random panther
Kareem
pelts?
has a knife.
I mean, I know Dirk is a WoW player, so you take everything because somebody's
You
going to
do.
need it. But is that necessary in this particular case?
I can't
I don't
really
know. I
tell you
might
that.
need to wear around a bloody cat's pelt.
Wait, you are or you aren't?
You might. You never know.
Okay, so
I might need to scare off a cat or a big mouse.
okay,
Those exist, right?
Oh,
So-
my God.
Alaric does not have any sharp implements other than his arrows. The angel has a claymore, and Kareem has 2 iron daggers and a Boros scimitar. Who wants to carve it up? Who's carving it up?
Yeah, I don't,
or skinning
I don't
it?
do that.
Well, Alaric's carving it up. It's his idea. Here,
Yep.
have a knife.
Okay. So Alaric is getting a knife from Kareem and skinning this thing. Is that right?
That is correct.
All right, Dirk.
What could go wrong?
Well, roll a d20.
D20.
Oh, God, he's going to lop off an arm, isn't he?
Gonna need to stay for a week.
Also, Birdie, thank you for the host. By the
And a
way.
12.
You got a 12. Okay, you kind of make a mess of it before. It's pretty clear this is not, I mean,
Not my thing.
not your thing, but you do manage to skin it, but it takes you most of the time you've been trying to rest, so I guess it's a hobby now, I don't know. And you do manage to take a lot of it, although keep in mind the angel cut it in half. So you have 2 skins, and because this isn't really your area of expertise, they're a bit ragged. But you do a passable job. They're not bleeding everywhere, but it's kind of yucky and dirty. As you're finishing up, you hear a growling sound to the north, and you look, and what appears to be the mate of the panther is slowly working its way into the clearing. It has its eyes on Alaric, who
Looks
is-
delicious.
is covered in the blood of her mate and is holding its mate's pelt.
I didn't know panthers formed such tight bonds of whateverness.
You see it coming. Does anyone want to make a response? It's making its presence known. It's growling. It's not, jumping on Alaric and clawing him to death, but it's not here to play nice either. You can
Should we just try
tell.
to escape this time?
I mean, there's 3 of us, and it's not a surprise, so I get the feeling this is the sort of thing that's gonna chase us, because it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's fixated on Alaric. But you all see it coming. Who wants to take the first move?
Let's see. I'm gonna do that thing they give you survival tips for, and put my arms up in the air and pretend to be really big and yell at it and see if it'll scare it away.
Oh yeah, I was thinking that I would do that with like wings spread and yeah.
Okay.
Let's both do that.
You guys both want to do that as a team effort, then?
Yes.
Yeah.
So okay, all right. So you both put your arms. You try to make yourselves look big, and
Yeah.
Angel spreads her wings and all that. All right, okay. Let's see how that works. I want both of you to roll a d6.
What did you tell us both to roll a d6?
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
I got a 3 on my die.
I got a 2 on mine.
It doesn't run away, but it seems confused. It was so fixated on Alaric, even though it knew the 2 of you were there, it wasn't really thinking you were a threat, and it slowed its approach considerably, possibly even to the point where it's stopping and looking at all 3 of you with somewhat wide eyes. But it continues to growl.
It's working. Do it some more.
You want to do the same thing over again.
Yes.
Okay? All right.
Sure, why
Roll,
not?
roll a d6 again, both of you.
I got a 5.
I got a 2.
My wings are bigger. Nah.
Well, apparently whatever you are doing is having some effect on it, because it has ceased growling and is now looking between the both of you with larger and larger eyes, seems to wait a minute, and then starts to slowly slink away, but it's not taking its eyes off of either of you.
One more time.
After about
Third time's charm.
after about another minute of this, it disappears into the jungle.
All right.
All right.
Intimidation check? Yes.
Mike, you rolled a 2 that last time?
I did.
Yeah, I'm going to give you both a skill in intimidation, so congratulations. You can both write that down. Let's do that under social skills. Intimidation. Just a base skill. Good job.
I don't even know where that goes, so I'll just write it right here.
There's a section for social skills on your character sheet.
I don't have a character sheet. I have a notepad file.
Oh. Okay.
I don't know what happened to the actual character sheet. Because, it took us so long to actually make this happen that I sort of lost a whole lot of that.
So, to recap, you entered a clearing, you're walking through the clearing. Alaric gets mauled, the angel cuts it clean in half. You all take a bit of a siesta for Alaric to recover, and in the meantime, he takes a knife from Kareem, cuts the thing wide open to get the skin off of it, and while he's doing this, the mate comes back, and the other 2 throw your arms up in the air and scare it away.
Damn
Yeah,
right.
okay. All right. So at this point, Alaric's got a couple toughness back. He's more or less recovered. You got yourself a skin pelt. It's getting on in the afternoon. Do you want to keep going? Do you want to stop here?
Well, let's keep traveling.
Yep.
Let's keep
All
going.
right. All right.
We're still probably going to get assaulted by an angry panther either way, so whatever.
Yeah, it's gonna get halfway home and be like, "Hey, wait a minute! We Bugs Bunnied it."
All right. Mike, roll a d6.
D6. 2 on the die. Pretty good at that.
2, we're gonna die. We're gonna end up back at the tower. And I will hit you in the back of the head, Shorty.
Oh, okay. All right. So you go through the clearing. You wait. You go through the jungle for a bit longer. You don't really see any identifying features for quite a while, and then you are passing through a wooded area. Still, the trees are still fairly close together, and then you reach what appears to be a narrow section where you have to kind of squeeze through some of the trees. And Kareem is leading the way, correct?
Correct.
So, as he's stopping and attempting to squeeze himself through, he's stopped because he suddenly feels this kind of pinching feeling. Mike, go ahead and roll a d20 for me, please.
D20.
Nice knowing you, buddy.
It is a 3.
It's a 3?
It is a 3.
All right.
That is one of the numbers on a D20.
Yes, it is. Okay.
Wait, what?
You look down and realize that all of a sudden you're
Not wearing pants.
you realize that all of a sudden you are standing on a mound of army ants, and they 2 or 3 of them appear to be trying to bite you and sting you, and you've already felt at least one of them, pinch you through your boot.
So are these like normal ant-sized ants or like uncomfortably large ants?
They are not the size of a dog, but they're the size probably of a bird. So bigger than your average ant.
Okay.
You can see 2 to 3 that are heading toward you. One is already trying to bite through your clothing, but there appears to be at least 6 more coming out of a mound in the ground.
Okay.
We'll say that
Those are some big ants.
We'll say that you, Alaric, who's leading the way, is kind of directly past the mound, and the other two are slightly behind it. The mound was kind of up against a tree. That's why you didn't see it before when you were passing the tree. So what do you want to do to these here ants?
Well, I guess I'll call out a warning to the others. Oh God, ants! And then if I'm in a position where I can, I'll try to start taking a swing at the ants that are biting me.
Okay. Well, I mean, especially the one that's trying to bite you, you are definitely close enough to it.
Okay. I just didn't know whether my movement was being restricted by squeezing through the.
You had stopped in time.
It was unclear how cramped this area was.
Yeah.
He said.
The trees that you're trying to pass through are narrow enough that you kind of had to stop and assess the situation. It's not like you've got one leg through and you're like stuck in the middle.
Okay.
But you can't. If you want to try and squeeze through them, it will take you your whole turn to squeeze through them.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
So you want to turn around. You've got 2 iron daggers, a Boros scimitar, and a shield. What do you want to do to this one that's trying to like bite you right now?
Brush him away with the shield. See what happens.
Brush him away with the shield? All right, brush him away with the shield. Okay. Do you have a D10?
Yes.
Okay.
Brush them away with a shield. Killer ants, and you're gonna brush them away. Shoo! Now back up.
He said in the last episode he's like a live and let live kind of guy.
Yeah, I prefer not to kill animals unless I have to.
Ants aren't animals; they're a stain.
All right, so D10.
Yes.
I got an 8.
You got an 8. Okay. So you swat at the one that is trying to attach itself to your leg, and you actually managed to hit it with enough force that it's crushed against a nearby tree. So whether you were intending to brush it off or not, that you did use enough force that one is down and out.
Yeah. Okay.
So the other 2 that are closer to you are still advancing on. There's another 2 heading toward each of the others, and I'm assuming the angel is next, or was Kareem next?
Well, I think since he's recovering, I will have been in the back.
You would have been the rear guard.
Yeah.
So Alaric, you've got 2 approaching you. You're the next closest to him. What do you want to do?
I am going to bare fist it.
You're gonna bare fist an ant. You're gonna bare. Have you seen Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? That thing is. Oh. Okay. All right. Sure. You're gonna bare fist. You do have bare fist with
one.
one enhancement. All right. So, and you're just gonna hit this thing right in the face, or are you gonna try and like crush it from above? Is this more of a punch or more of like a smash from above?
I'll just smash from above.
Smash from above. Okay, so you're gonna keep your arm away from the pinchers and whatnot.
Correct.
All right. Roll a d6, please.
Right. Got a 2.
Got a 2. Okay, you attempt to smash the nearest ant. However, it manages to twist its head around, and in doing so, as your arm passes it, it manages to bite your arm. So,
was this with the 1?
Yes.
From Bare Fist?
Yes. It is.
Okay.
So you now have one like biting your arm. Angel, what you gonna do?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm gonna whip out my sword and try to lop the nearest one in half.
Okay, the two coming to you are actually fairly close together. They're not like stacked on top of each other, but they're literally like heads almost together. You want to try and do them one at a time or at the same time?
Well, I mean, it's me, and I do have a big-ass sword. So let's go try to do a horizontal slash in such a way that it will... Well, I guess... I'm going to try to lop both their heads off. How's that?
Lop both the heads off. That's going to be a little tricky. All right, roll a d20. Let's see what happens.
I have a d20 right here. All right, here we go. I rolled a 19. Holy crap.
You rolled a
Wow.
I swear I'm not cheating.
I believe you. Had their heads come off. I mean, like, you managed to do it in such a way. You swing the sword, you cut through both the heads with such force that if you can picture this, the disembodied heads literally, after leaving their bodies, collide together in the middle and shoot off in opposite directions. Good job.
Head in the corner pocket.
Yeah, pretty much. Give me 1 second here. All right. For the ants, the ones at Kareem, there's two advancing on him. One takes a jump at Kareem. Kareem, go ahead and roll a d6 for me, please.
D6. There's a 1.
It's a 1. Okay. You try to dodge, but it slashes you across your face, and you take a point of damage.
How tall is this ant?
They're really good jumpers, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
And then the other one is trying to go for your leg. Roll a d10, please.
Okay.
Man, Mike just called him out, and Brian just ducked it.
Fell off the couch. Stop falling off the couch. Let's try this other one. 9.
9. Okay. You manage to bring your foot up and swat the second one away. It doesn't take any damage, but you're bleeding from the face a little bit, but you're okay. You're more composed. Dirk, roll a d20, please.
Go. 10.
Dirk's asking if we need to borrow Chewy.
I mean,
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
All right, you roll a 10?
Yep.
Okay. The one that has attached itself to its arm bites down and is causing you some damage, but you do manage to pull its pinchers off and it drops to the ground. But it has hurt you somewhat significantly. The other one that was approaching you goes ahead and lunges for your feet as well. Roll a d10. Dirk.
D10. 10.
Okay. That one
He did borrow my dice.
That one he managed to kick away, and in doing so you actually stunned it, and it does take a damage, and it kind of collapses on itself. These are not super hardy ants. So, all right. All the ants have kind of taken their actions. The two that were coming at the angel took an action and wait, they're dead. So don't worry about them. There are 2 more ants that are currently coming out of the mound, but they have not started advancing toward anyone yet. Mike, what you gonna do? You've killed one. You got one that slashed your face and kind of landed to the side of you, and you managed to brush the other one that was going for your leg off. So you've got one still relatively in front of you and one to your right side, if you can picture that.
Okay. I'm going to try to, since it worked so well the first time, I'm going to try to swat another one with my shield.
Okay. Which one?
The close one.
Okay. The one that bloodied you already.
Yeah, the one's in my face,
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. All right. I'm looking at my figures here. What did I have you roll for the shield last time? I believe it was a D10.
I honestly don't remember.
Roll a D10.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep all these straight, but we've got a lot of things going on here. This is one of the most involved things we've done so far.
A 5.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the few combats that hasn't immediately ended with either Alaric or the Angel one-shotting something.
Yeah.
All right, you rolled a 5?
Yes.
Okay. You attempt to knock it away, and you kind of catch it on the shield, but it bounces off without taking any damage. It kind of basically just pivots.
Okay.
All right. Kareem, that was
Yes.
you. Alaric, you've got the one that just bit your arm, and then there's another one that went for your foot. What do you want to do?
So if I use my buckler, can I use my buckler with my bare fist?
I'm gonna say no,
Okay.
because that's the. I'm gonna say no. You can still use your buckler to attack if you want. You just won't get the bare fist bonus. But you tell me how you want to attack, and we'll make it work. Okay, and I'll apply bonuses that apply. But tell me what you want to do, and we'll make it happen, or not happen, as the dice decree.
I'm going to attempt to go after the one that bit my arm
Okay.
and see if I can, coup de grace him.
Okay. How?
Bare fist.
Bare fist. Okay, so you're gonna try and do what you did last time. Okay. Roll a d6,
Falcon.
but this time without,
Hopefully without doing something dumb again. Got a 4.
You got a 4. All right, this time you actually do manage to catch it at the top of the head, and you smush its sad little ant head, and it's dead. So, revenge! Angel, you kind of take the scene in. You see that Kareem is a little further away from you. He's still got the 2 ants, but they've both been knocked a little ways away. So they're both coming after him, but he's got a bit of a distance. You've got 2 ants coming out of the mound that are, I guess, trying to figure out where they're going to go. They haven't started advancing toward anyone. And then you've got Alaric, who's killed 1 ant, but still has another one over to his side. What you going to do?
It's a shame that break open doesn't work on these. But okay, let's see. I guess I will leave Alaric to fend for his second one off, since he just smashed one.
Okay.
And try to zip over to stab one of Mike's. Wait, Alaric, they each have one coming at them? No. Kareem has
Alaric
2
has-
still.
I have 2.
Alaric has 2. No, I'm sorry. Alaric has 1. Kareem has 2, and there's 2 that have not yet come at anyone. They're around the mound, so they're kind of between the other 2 people.
Did we get separated that much?
Yeah, Kareem was up really far.
Not that you're separated a lot. That's just where they are physically. I'm not saying that there's like a football field between you guys, but that's
Okay.
where
All right,
the
because
ants
we
are.
walked past it and didn't see it. Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
Alaric, I'm sorry, Kareem was the only one that was past them at that point. They
Right,
kind of
right.
started. Yeah. Okay. So,
Well, I really don't want to provoke any more. So I guess I instead will just try to stab the other one that's messing with Alaric,
okay.
and then we will assess
can
the
double up
situation
and
from
take-
there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah,
you're
we
gonna
might need to run away. There's probably lots of ants down underground.
Yeah, I don't know if these are the kind of ants that will, when they get that pheromone of, oh no, someone died, if they'll all swarm, or if they'll be like, oh crap, don't go over there. So,
All right. So you're gonna attack the other one that's currently assessing Alaric.
yes.
All right. Roll your d20 with that there claymore.
D20 Claymore. Okay, hang on, let me set up all of my dice stoppers here. Haha! I rolled a 14.
Roll a 14. Okay. All right. You don't manage to behead this one, but you do manage to cut off a decent amount of it. It's an ant. It's dead. So good job. You killed an ant. All right. So the one that Mike did not brush off, the other one that went for his feet last time, will continue to try and go after him. Mike, roll a d10, please.
All right. 5.
Okay. It makes a jump for your leg, but obviously you're kind of keeping an eye on it. You're aware of the situation, and you manage to kick it off again. And this time, it's pretty well stunned. It's looking a little woozy.
Yay!
The other one that you managed to brush off the shield before starts to head back toward you, but has not made its way back to you yet. The ones that were coming out of the mound start to head toward Kareem as well, since he's a little closer, and since they can tell that that their broodmates or what have you are engaged. So, all right, that one's not close enough. And then roll a d10 for me, please, one more time, Mike.
All right. Do another 5.
Okay. All right, so they're starting to swarm you a bit. You're surrounded. Your back is kind of to that section of trees that you would have to, squeeze to get through, and the ants are forming somewhat of a semicircle around you, but none of them are within biting distance right now. What do you want to do?
Okay. I think it's time to get out of here. I'm going to run, and I guess I would have to leap over or in between two of them, just try to evade them, just try to run past.
Okay,
Jump
so
over, run past whatever I got to do to just go back the other way.
you want to jump over them to try and join your teammates. You're going to jump in their direction.
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure of which way you're going. All
Yes.
right, and that would put you directly over two of them. So do me a favor and let's roll a d12 for that, please.
Okay. Nine.
All right, one you managed to miss entirely. The other one almost grabs you with a pincher, and as you're landing, it manages to snag a bit of your boot, but you don't actually take any damage. You kind of stumble a bit, but you don't actually manage to fall down, and you have enough momentum, and you guys are close enough that before you know it, you're kind of running past the other two. You want to yell anything to them as they're going past?
Let's get out of here.
All right, do you guys want to follow suit?
I'm gonna hit the two top buttons and try and escape.
At the same time or alternate? Because
Oh, at the same time for
It depends
sure.
on which game you're playing, I guess.
all right, so Alaric says, "This has been fun. I killed me a bug. Let's go." What about the angel?
Well, I mean, if they're leaving, I should leave too. So
3-0 for the angel. And
I'll
she's like,
follow them.
"Peace." Okay, so Kareem is leaving. He happens to be the the lead trekker in any case, and you're going to go back the way you came because there's not really a way anywhere else. So let's see where you end up. So Kareem, go ahead and roll that d6. And yes, Stark, he does take 2 boot damage. Canadian.
I rolled a 1
You rolled a 1?
on the die, yes.
We're gonna end up back at the tower.
You take off at a mad dash. You're running past trees. You can't really see where you're going.
Oh god,
And
I
you
know
don't
where
have
we're gonna end up.
you don't really feel that you have time to take out your map and consult. You're trying to gauge where you're going from the sky, but the sky is getting darker at this point. You find yourself, as you slow down, entering a wooded section where you can see what appears to be the last of a giant ant heading down a mound where it looks like it was just patrolling. You only see the one heading down the mound. You are about to enter this area, and just past the mound, you see a wooded area that you'd have to squeeze through to get through.
I hate this place.
It's better than what I thought. I thought we were going to end up right there with that black cat.
What? But the ants don't notice you because you're not like stomping over them yet. What do you want to do? I'll allow you to do something. What do you want to do? Do you want to turn around again? Do you want to try and sneak past the mound? Do you want to try and set the mound on fire?
So did we manage to turn and run so fast and so stupidly that we ended up right back where we started?
This is literally the same ant mound, yes.
Yeah, I mean, we already know that that's one of the properties of this plane. It's so confusing out in the wilderness that it's really easy to loop back around on places you've
and also
literally just
Trekker
been.
is completely worthless.
Well, and breaking the wall just a minute, part of it is I look at what he rolls as far as whether or not you go in the direction you're in, and then once I figure out which direction you're going, I do make a roll to see what you encounter when you get there and what type of environment it is, and sometimes it just ends up here in the literal same place. It's kind of rare for that.
We're stupid. That's what it ends up being.
No, I mean, it's funny. For that to actually happen, more things have to go wrong for that to happen than to be in a slightly different location. So the stars aligned. Congratulations.
I mean, it happened to me before when we were fighting that angry tree folk that we set on fire.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not
exactly
impossible.
what happened. It was a Scooby-Doo chase scene.
Yeah. Thank you, Stark.
You guys are just really good at pulling off the impossible. Let's put it that way.
So now that we're not being jumped by the ants, it might be possible to sneak past them.
I would like to take a small moment and slap Kareem in the back of the head and roll my eyes at him, but that's irrelevant.
All right, so Kareem, you want to sneak past them, is that right?
Yes. Thankfully, my stealth skill of 2 will do more good for us than my trekking skill of 2.
What about the rest of us, though? How are we going to get past them?
If this is a narrow area, if you want to proceed, it will be one at a time. But we can go ahead and do that if you want. Mike, go ahead and roll a d12 for stealth, and let's see if you get past these.
Okay. 4.
Oh, God.
Nothing.
Hold on.
Do.
Are you?
Oh, God.
So would it be more convenient for you if I were to add the relevant skill to the roll, or just tell you what I have on the die? And you'll
Just
look it up,
tell me what you had. So that was a 4, correct?
4, and my stealth skill is 2. Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm thinking that means a total of 6, but there's still a lot of mechanics that are kind of hidden from us.
Yeah, I'm also trying to figure. I'm also rolling to see how aware the ant is. So you do manage to sneak past, and you're able to get through the trees. But as you're going through the trees at the far end, while you're relatively soundless, the last ant that basically only had one leg sticking out of the mound, seems to have stopped moving. So it's kind of assessing the situation. It's about 95% of its body is in the mound, but you have made it through. Who's next in line? Would that be
That'll be
Alark?
me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You do not have a stealth bonus. Do you have a D12?
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, I just spotted what Stark said. You sneak through the clearing by clambering pots and pans together, saying, "Here I am, ants!"
I roll a 7.
You roll a 7. Okay. You wait a minute. The ant doesn't seem to move, and walking very slowly and very carefully, you manage to make it through and get through the clearing, get through the area, and go through the trees. Angel, roll a d12.
Oh god, this is where my amazing die rolls fail us. Alright, I rolled a 4. Clank, 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 clank.
You manage to make it through, but as you are putting one leg through the trees, you see 2 ants starting to emerge from the mound. You manage to get your wings and your leg clear just as they are starting to pour out en masse. You guys want to get out of here?
Yeah, I think now would be a good time to book it.
All right, Alaric. Not you. All right, Kareem, roll the d6 for me, and let's see if you don't end
Roll
up back in the
D6.
same.
Stupid, hateful, worthless D6. A 2.
A 2. Okay.
Would it help if we all rolled d6s and took the average?
It might.
With our luck, it'll be 1.6.
Yeah, right.
All right, you managed to head through the woods and the jungle. You can tell that you've lost some sense of direction.
You successfully walk in a direction.
It is now full dark outside, and you can't really tell whether you're heading north, south, east, or west. You don't appear to be emerging from the jungle. You do reach a grove that seems to have several fruit trees in it, but in the center of the trees is some kind of elemental. I want to pull up a picture real quick here to make sure that I can describe. That's one of the benefits of basing these things on cards is if I want to know what it looks like,
Gatherer.
I can hey, it's open. So, all right. That's weird art. Yeah, that's how it looks in both printings. Okay. The elemental is clearly alive, but it looks like it's covered in brambles, and it has the makings of a... it looks like it's made essentially out of bark. You know, it's a silver glade elemental, so you can look it up if you want. I'm sorry, I'm breaking that, but it's a silver glade element. So it looks a bit like a tree with a face, except it doesn't have leaves on top. It has bramble. So it looks at you as you enter the glade, but it does not make any movement toward you.
But it's dark.
I like
It's dark.
Stark's idea. We should get Sam in here to help describe stuff.
All right, what's the color and what's in the art? It's a brown guy with a face, and he's hugging a tree. So, Kareem, what you want to do?
Okay.
But you said it's dark.
It's dark. That's correct.
Okay.
You can see the trees. You can see that they are fruit-bearing trees, and you can see this elemental. It has acknowledged you. It sees you as you come into the grove. It is not making a movement toward you.
I'm just going to take a minute, take a second, and be cool and see what it does.
Okay, so you're taking a beat. Anybody else want to do anything like draw your sword, or you following Kareem's example on this?
Yeah, let's just... We've been running from ants and lost in the woods. Let's just see if this thing is not gonna kill us.
Okay.
And you know, if the angel's saying it,
maybe he'll be like Treebeard and give us some awesome beer or whatever that makes us taller.
You would like that, wouldn't you, Shorty?
You walked right into that one.
I did. I just, man.
Oh, so short. Okay, so you're standing there, you're assessing it. The elemental does not take its eyes off of you initially, and then after a few moments, it seems to almost settle back. It was not reclining as you came in. It appeared to be alert as it assessed you. It seems to be relaxed, but it is not. It is not taking its eyes off of you.
Okay, well, that's a good sign. It's not charging at us trying to lop our heads off or anything.
Yeah. You want to give it a wide berth?
Let's say this. So I think our options at this point are to slink off into the darkness or to see if it's possible to like chill here for the night. But I don't know.
Yeah, and I think if we want to stay here, we should ask it first. Let's see if we can communicate with it.
Oh,
Might as well ask if it's okay.
All right, so you want to see if
tree
you can
elemental
communicate with
things
it?
understand us? I don't know.
Let's find out.
Okay.
It's like, hello, do you understand us?
Do you want me to try and negotiate with it?
Well, let's see if it. Let's
Okay.
see if it knows what we're saying first.
So you're saying hello to it.
Yes, hello.
Very
do you understand
non-threateningly.
us? Yes.
Hands visible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It looks at you with some interest when you start speaking, but it does not make any sound in response.
Great.
It stays stationary.
So I'm gonna elbow Kareem and go, ask if it minds if we hang out here.
Yeah. It's getting pretty late and we're pretty tired from our journey. Is it okay if we rest here for the night?
I don't know if I should smile or if baring my teeth will upset it.
Again, it doesn't seem to make any kind of response. So it's not threatening you. It's not really acknowledging you. When you speak, it looks at the person that's speaking, so it acknowledges them, but it doesn't make any kind of verbal communication.
I'm gonna go find a spot to sit down.
Yeah, somewhere not close to the big tree person.
What order did you guys enter this area in? The same one that you've been in?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
that worries me slightly.
Should we roll a d10?
What did I ever do to you? 10. That's a 12. All right, here's a 10.
A panther leaps out of the shadow.
That's not funny, man. Too soon. All right, D10 says 60.
A d10 says 60?
Yeah, I picked up the
That's
10s,
impressive.
D10, but so 6. Wait, no,
Okay.
it's yeah, cuz 0 is 0 0 or 0 10.
0 is 10.
Okay, then yes, 60. I mean 6.
I'm not sure. Okay, so you rolled a 6.
Yes.
Okay.
Stark said, "Se hablas español?" Señor. Oh, hello. I don't know what to do with this information.
Well, whatever you want. You could, I don't know, tell them. I suppose I could just say this out loud. I didn't know if it would be more effective as a personal message, but
In this case, I don't think so, because I think
Yeah.
what I'll do is put a hand on the hilt of my sword and be like, guys.
What?
Yeah, sorry, I thought it might be more dramatic that way, but you're
I
correct.
heard, I just heard growling behind me. Everybody be cool.
Okay.
I guess I did it that way because you're the only one that hears it.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense.
As you turn around, you can see eyes watching you from the darkness. Very familiar looking eyes.
I knew it. I knew we were gonna see that cat again.
Have you bathed since I don't know.
Since I carry around his bloody partner's pelt with me? No.
Yes. Yeah, okay. All right.
Lucky it didn't attack us with the ants. I'm gonna knock my
There
bow.
are 5 ants riding
Or
on it.
I'm gonna knock her on my bow.
You're going to knock an arrow on your bow? Okay. You do know it's pitch black outside.
I don't care.
All right. You want to literally take a shot in the dark. Is that right?
One step away. Oh, wait.
All
No,
right.
sorry.
No,
You know
I'm
what?
just getting ready in case this thing is going to attack us.
Silver arrow or iron arrow?
Iron.
Iron arrow.
Yeah, we're not at Ganon. Psh.
You can see the eyes in the dark. It is coming. It is advancing toward you. Since you've got your arrow knocked, do you want to do anything, or do you want to wait until it gets a little closer? Or do you want to invite someone else to do something?
I'm gonna wait for it to get a little bit closer so I have a better shot.
Okay.
Excuse me. Yeah, I've pulled out a sword and I'm looking at it. Because it's dark.
All right. I want Chewy to roll a d10.
10. That's this. I rolled a 70. A 7.
All right. Dirk, I want you to roll a d10.
Three.
The panther leaps into the grove and manages to avoid the angel, basically knocking into her slightly, stunning her, and direct all its attention on Kareem. And it takes a swipe at him with its claw and manages to gouge
Talking
him.
about me.
Yes, did I say
You said Kareem.
Alaric manages to gouge Alaric in the same arm that an ant was trying to bite the hand off of earlier. And you go down to one knee. You're partially stunned right now. Angel, you wanna do anything about this?
I mean, I guess I'll do what I did before and try to save Alaric from the big ass panther by swinging a sword.
That is kind of what you're good at.
I don't want to say I'm a one trick here, but you know.
All right, D20.
D20. You do have marked down I have a heavy weapons of 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
You've been decapitating everything, haven't you?
I mean, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Of course I beat you to the Ganon joke. Yep, I rolled, oh my god, an 18. Are you serious? This ain't right. Now I think I'm cheating, and I'm the one sitting here doing it.
So the Panthers between you and Alaric, it's swiped him with its one paw, it's gouged him, he's down on one knee. You raise your claymore over your head, and you manage to bring it down with enough force that you don't cut it in half this time, but you manage to basically snap its spine almost Bane style, and it howls in pain, and it looks at you, and as it turns, it fails to notice that the blade was still in it, and it kind of twists the blade around a little bit. This is a little bad, but you basically like it's kind of in trying to get itself free of the blade. It's dug the blade in deeper, and it falls to the ground, dead. Good job, again.
So I'm gonna rip my sword out of it messily and turn to Kareem and be like, "Thanks for the help, Shorty."
So I really only have one question. Are you gonna skin this one too?
I'm gonna lean towards if
No.
you touch that thing with the intent of skinning it, I'm gonna skin you.
I'm sort of looking at the pelts that I have now and sort of being like, I don't need these so much.
Oh, that's great.
One second.
Because apparently these pelts that were acquired have been the bane of our existence tonight. They have led us into 2 cats and a mess of ants.
I don't think the answer because of the pelt.
I'm starting to think that. Like, you know what? These
It's a
pelts are
cursed
not
pelt.
worth this.
Cursed pelts.
They are.
Could someone check that Silverglade Elemental and make sure we haven't pissed it off?
Hey, yeah, actually, just stay cool. It stood up and took notice when you all started fighting with the panther.
I mean, we didn't so much fight with a panther as get attacked by a panther.
Well, I'm just put your sword down and
Okay.
it's looking at you. Just be cool.
So yeah, let me just put this away. Wave slightly. I refuse to
All right.
curtsy though.
When you put the sword down, it stares at you for a minute, and then it sits back down in the pose it was before. But now it's refusing to take its eyes off of the angel.
Great. This is all your fault, Alaric.
Well, I am going to... There really is no reason to keep these pelts. They have brought us no good luck. I am dropping the pelts.
You've had a rough day. You've taken
Yeah.
more hits today than you have any other day.
Yeah.
I think you might have taken more damage today than the rest of us have the entire time we've been playing.
I have.
Your arm is still bleeding, by the way. It's a good thing that you actually did rest before, or you would probably be on death's doorstep now. So
Oh, well, let me
Good
hit
job.
him with more blessed healing while we're here.
okay, you do so, and the wound closes. But you know, the human body, even when subject to magic, it's like when you record over a VCR tape, it gets stretched a little thinner. So the wound closes, but it looks like there might be a scar this time. So I guess you can tell the ladies at the bar where you got
I
that
was
scar.
gonna say
from.
scars are sexy.
While we're here and I'm getting the impression we're probably gonna call the night in this location, right?
Yeah. and hope
Well,
that
it
the
depends on what that
does-
elemental does now that we're not getting attacked by panthers and cleaving them.
Yeah.
Right now, it's just staring at.
I'm gonna commune.
You're gonna commune with nature.
Yep.
What does that mean?
You know the thing where you
Try to form a mana bond?
right.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking that earlier, but I wanted to make... That's when I said, check on that elemental over there.
Oh yeah, that might.
Because that might be something that endears us a little bit to the elementals to show that we're...
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good idea. If
All
we do a
right.
good job, you might like us.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so you are currently in a jungle type area, so I'll let you go first, Alaric. You and I are both going to roll a d6. Let me just make sure I understand what this will do.
D6 has been the bane of my existence tonight.
You want me to roll a 20 for you?
If I need a 20, I know I'm gonna call on.
All right, so roll a d6 for me if you haven't already.
I rolled a 2.
Oops. I got it. Oh, so I'm dropping stuff.
All right, you form a bond. What you're going to do, I want you and your mana sources to write down jungle. And a jungle is a non-basic land. It can produce a mana of any color, but it deals 1 damage to its controller when you initially call it.
Huh.
So,
Look, Brian's just
go.
making up lands now.
Yep. Well, I started with some of the lands, like some of the cities, but I found that this was something I wanted to do here that was more unique to the game since I mean, I guess there might be like a shock land that, deals 2 damage to you, but 2 damage feels like a lot in this game. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's how this works. Anybody else want to go next?
So when you mean initially, you mean the very first time and then no other time after that?
No, I mean every time you call it.
Oh, every time. Okay.
But not when you actually use it for mana. So, and then let's say what?
You said every time we call it, but not when you use it for mana. What do you mean?
Like when you're in a situation where you're in an encounter and you need to go and start calling up mana sources, you can call that one up. It'll deal 1 to you, but then you can use it for mana any number of times. I'll let you know if you're drawing on it too much, and then over a period of time, those sources will, if you're not calling on them, they'll reset and you'll need to call it out later, but probably that's about once a day or so. Does that make sense? We haven't done a whole lot with this.
Not really, because because I still don't know the underlying details for all of the details for how the magic system works.
It really hasn't.
I'll just trust you to tell me what's right.
I appreciate that. It's one of those things where, honestly, I'm not blaming you guys, but there have not been a whole lot of spells cast. So it's something where I've kind of set this up, and I thought, okay, if there's any issues with the system, because this is definitely still a pre-alpha kind of thing, we'll figure it out as we go. And you guys have tended to punch, kick, stab things more than set them on fire. So, so that's kind of been it. So what I would say is basically the first time you call it in a day, it deals a damage to you.
Okay, got it.
So, Alaric has a jungle. Anybody else want to try and form a bond?
Yes.
Yeah, we were all going to do that.
All right. Mike, roll a D6, your favorite.
6.
Jam!
You D6.
Where were you earlier, D6? I mean, I appreciate you and all, but damn.
Yeah, well, I still got to find out what Brian rolled, I guess.
Well, I'm want to make sure. Okay. All right. You also get a jungle. You almost didn't. It has less to do with your number exactly and more to do with what you and I both rolled together.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys still hear us? You guys in the Twitch?
I just pulled up Twitch and it's still there, so
Okay.
I guess just refresh Dirk and see if that fixes it.
Okay. I was just double checking because my screen went. Okay, there we are.
So, Alaric has a jungle, and then the angel. Roll a d6.
Kareem too.
Did I say Kareem, Alaric? Whoever, those two have jungles.
Everyone but me. Okay, so you said roll a what?
D6.
Okay, D6 is a 3.
All right, everybody gets a jungle. You get a jungle. You
Yay.
get a jungle. You get a jungle. Okay. Yeah. Actually, since you mentioned it, each one of you every time one of you formed a bond with the mana, the elemental seemed to lower its gaze a little bit at a time, and when the last of you formed the mana bond, it's kind of laid down a bit, and it's not really paying you attention anymore. It's just kind of staring up at the trees.
All right, then. Excellent.
So it is late figuratively, and while this has not been a super exposition episode, it is getting late in the real world as well, at least for those of us that, for those of us that 10 o'clock is late. Do you want to call it here both for the party and for the episode? Or do you want to keep going a little bit?
It's up to you guys, but that's probably a good place to pause for the evening.
I would agree.
Okay. All right, then. So
Yay, combat and slicing things in half.
and Alaric, coming closer to dying. And I would like to reiterate for those that are following along and thinking that, I'm just going to let them get away with whatever. I went into this saying, somebody might die. And I did not, that was not like, I was not thinking to myself, somebody needs to die this episode. But I have made myself say that because as much as I want to develop these characters, I've always felt like, in comic books and things like that, it's always been cheap to me when the stakes don't feel real because everybody's going to live.
Combat in this system is extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
With the amount of damage that players and creatures can hand out and the amount of toughness and HP that they have to deal with.
Yeah. Which I wanted there to be a sense I don't want everybody to feel invincible. And there have been a couple situations where I felt like, especially some of the early encounters, there was no danger at all. But that was more to just your rolls than anything else. That was not because the system was stacked against me. So bravo for taking on a decent number of foes this time and coming out of it okay. So, all right, we'll stop here. Commence, tent RPG sleeping music thing.
Do 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 do. Depends on which Final Fantasy you're playing. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Yay! Well, that was fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to do another one again soon. I've been thinking that I want to do these a little more often, not in place of other episodes that we're doing, but because I'm getting the mechanics more and more streamlined, and the more we do it, the easier it is to find some of the flaws, like, understanding the magic system. But the story is pretty well developed at this point. I know what's happening and where they're going, and hopefully where everything will end up, although there's enough variance there that it can go a couple different ways. So as much as I love this, I don't want the campaign to take 5 more years. So if we can do this once a month or once every other month, I think that'd be great.
Yeah, when I mentioned it in the Discord server, that, hey, we're going to do an RPG episode, Stark said, oh, has it been a year since the last one already? I was like, oh.
Now, I was looking at the episodes, and we had one like middle of last year, and then we had one again in November, and it was like, hey, it hasn't been forever, and now it's February. So keeping up a good pace, I think. I feel like it flows better when it's not, there was one where it was literally over a year between the episodes.
Yeah.
And that just feels a little like, what are we doing? So, and hopefully everybody listening along either with us right now in the Twitch chat or listening to us later on the podcast has been enjoying this. So as always, I appreciate any and all feedback as long as it's constructive.
Yeah.
All right,
then.
All right then.
Final thoughts then, Mr. Dorks? Mr.'s Dork? Use guys?
For my final thought, sometimes I talk about things I find on the internet, and I will do a special call out to something I really enjoy. I try not to be like, oh, I found something I hate. But I found a channel on Ustream. Too much streaming. On YouTube.
So Ustream hasn't been around for a long time.
Was that actually a thing? Wow.
Isn't that where we did our very first streams?
Yeah. That was also where, Magic did their very first streams.
Oh, yeah.
So I found a channel, and the name of it is, and this is all one word, Who is this Git? Git. And he does some. He has a couple different series. They're all based on video games, and he has some like boss analysis for some of the more infamous bosses in gaming, and approaches to them. He went really in depth on Baruberry from Breath of Fire 2, who is notorious because he's this penultimate boss that is so much more difficult and frustrating than the actual final boss of the game. It's crazy. And so I kind of found was one of those things where I kind of found it when I was his channel. I was looking at something else, and he has gone through some of his favorite dungeons and least favorite dungeons in video games. It's been really interesting. But earlier today, I saw that he had a video up, and it was one of his entries in favorite dungeons of all time, and the background kind of gives a hint as to which one he'll be talking about. It's not in the title which one it is, but it looked like the mana tree from Secret of Mana, and I'm like, well, that's weird. That almost looks like he'd be talking about the mana, the Pure Land in Secret of Mana, which I hate with a dying passion. So I watched the video, and sure enough, and it was funny because he talked about all the reasons that he loved it. Did you guys play Secret of Mana?
Mm-hmm.
I did not, actually.
Do you remember the Pure Land, Dirk? Where the Tree of Mana is.
Oh, yes.
My problem with that is the whole game, you feel like there's always been slightly harder enemies, but you've never had to feel like you really had to grind before. And then you get through the Sunken Temple, and the area right before, and you feel like, okay, I've got a handle on it. And then you go to the Pure Land, and the first random enemy is like, that's cute. Here's triple digit damage, and you're like, when you've been dealt like 20, 30, 50 damage, maybe the whole game, and before you know it, you're all dead, and you're like, wait, what? So my whole point with this was an area that ever since the first time I played through Secret of Mana, I have never liked, and I felt like it was too difficult for where it was. It was such a difficulty spike. It's hard to find the way to get around because you're in the woods and you can't always tell which direction you need to go in. And it was really interesting hearing his analysis as far as why he thought it was well designed, why he enjoyed it, and why it really stood out to him. And while I didn't necessarily agree with him, I thought it was a decent analysis. So I'm putting this out, who is this Git? Because even though I may not agree with him, I thought it's pretty neat. He does a good job. If I have one complaint for his channel, it's that all of his analysis is given. He's got video game footage in there, but his analysis is, he puts it in text. And sometimes when I'm watching, I'll watch a video or have a video on in the background as I'm doing other things, like I'm cleaning or cooking or whatever. And this is one of these videos you literally have to stare at the screen because you're reading the words. They're not spoken out loud. And it's a small criticism, and it's a very personal one because someone else is going to be like, well, that's the way I prefer it. I'm watching a video. I want to watch the video, but that's it. So there you go. Boom. Done.
Okay, then.
Never said it wasn't random.
I don't know. I really don't have a random thought or anything of that sort. I can say this. I am so looking forward to the end of this week.
Well, that's tomorrow, Dirk.
I know. Thank goodness. This is I cannot tell you how much I really am looking forward to spring break, and as soon as that's done, going to summer vacation. This has just been this semester cannot go fast enough.
Hey, Dark.
Yep.
I hate to tell you, but they canceled the weekend this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Dirk.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what's sad?
What's that?
Spring break is usually a week, right?
Yeah, but because of
Not
all the
for me.
snow.
Not for me. Spring
Sam,
break is it's 2 days, 2 vacation days, and then the other 3 days are teacher work days.
Well, Sam has lost either 2 or 3 days of her spring break because of all the snow days we've had. I was half afraid they were going to cancel school on Wednesday because they were calling for that freezing rain,
Yeah.
and they didn't, and so that was a relief. So But in all seriousness, I'm glad you're all right, and I'm glad that the weekend's almost here for you.
Yeah,
Just stick it out, man.
I am. I'll get there.
We got your
You got
back.
this, bruh. Did that come out English? Because it was supposed to be vaguely English.
It was English with a slight accent of broy.
Bro? Okay, Mike?
All right. I'm Mike. I'm the rules guy and the game mode guy.
Sure, Alaric. I mean Kareem.
I mean, your face.
Okay. Oh, Des.
Maybe if I kill Alaric and he'll make a new character, I will keep him.
Call him Bob.
No, don't
It's
do that,
interesting.
because then I'll just never stop saying, "Get in there, Bob," and making Overwatch jokes. So please don't.
Is Bob a character in Overwatch?
He's the latest character, Ash. It's her ult. As she calls down Bob, and Bob shoots everybody.
Right.
He's
So Mike,
her robot butler.
It's interesting that we chose to do this because that means I've done like RPG over Discord twice this week. I got into a Dungeons and Dragons group that so far we've only been able to meet once every 3 weeks or so, just because of people's schedules. And we've been doing stuff on Monday nights, and it's been fun. Like some of the people I'm playing with, we've been meaning to try to get something started up for a long time, like a long time, like almost a year, and we're only finally getting around to doing it. But that's been pretty fun. I ended up building a type of character that I don't usually do in Dungeons and Dragons.
Wait,
I'm
you're an elvish barbarian.
Yes, I'm a wood elf barbarian.
really?
You know how I
Yes.
know that?
How's
Because
that?
I just posted the odds and ends where you guys did the online or D&D for the first time,
Oh, okay, cool.
like earlier today. It's not that I have an amazing memory and remember stuff from 2 months ago. No.
But yes, I'm a wood elf or barbarian, and I get up in a monster's face and hit it with a great axe, and it's awesome.
I've heard that the axe isn't all that great.
It's okay. It's better than nothing.
It's not as great as a sword. I mean,
But yeah, so this last session wasn't as edge of my seat thrilling as the others have been. Partly because I had to join really late because I got held up at work and then I had to eat dinner and whatnot. But partly because we're kind of in a story lull, and the big thing that we were doing that time was going out on a hunting expedition to try to get more food for a village that we ended up at, that we saved from a giant who was kind of lording over them and being a jerk. So we were out hunting buffalo. It was interesting, but it's not quite the same as, fighting an ogre or raiding an orc camp or something like that.
or shooing away ants.
No.
Depends on the size of the ants.
And it's funny because a lot of the people in that group, with the way things ended up sorting out, are people who are fairly new to D&D, and sometimes they just do a lot of agonizing over what the best course of action is, and just asking questions like, oh, what about this? What about this? I'm going to sneak around here. I'm going to watch them do this. And it was kind of hard to keep myself from accidentally, Leroy Jenkinsing us into getting stampeded by a herd of buffalo. But I was able to hold back, and we didn't all die, so
Well done.
I'll call that a success.
It's pretty great when Mike doesn't lose his entire everything.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Is that good for you?
Yes.
Yay. Well, that just leaves me.
It does.
Have I done anything lately worth talking about? So today I got 4 odds and ends posted because I'm woefully far behind. But hey, I'm less far behind by 4 now. So many apologies to all of the lifeguards who haven't had those. I have dropped myself back down to 1 YouTube video a day until I get caught up. Which should hopefully... I should be caught up by the end of the weekend, hopefully? Hopefully?
Okay.
If I, focus and just do odds and ends and play Hearthstone. Nice. I'm about to get a Golden Priest, too, so I can't play... I have to pay attention while I'm playing Hearthstone to not get that off stream. Mm-hmm. So... But I've been playing Smash Brothers all the time. That Spirit board, man, it's addicting. And yeah, overall, as far as content goes, over on the YouTube channel, what's been going up is, since it's 1 video a day at the moment, it's more Smash Brothers. Tomorrow, for these of you listening live, it's the last of the Thick Silent, THICC Thick, because she thick though. The Thick Silent run on Slay the Spire. I called it the heavy hitter because I just took all the spells that did big damage. And then in the chat, I think it was OKFS, named it the Thick Silent. And I was like, So yeah, the last video in that, with an hour or 2 in the middle cut out where I had massive internet issues and had to get on internet tech support. And I really wish that there was more than one option for internet around here. But yeah, so I stopped in the middle and spent like an hour and a half or 2 hours or some stupid amount of time trying to get my internet back right. And then I picked it back up and finished it. So yay. And what else? Yeah, just generally getting life back in order. I got a new chair because I realized that the blue like gamer chair that I had was actually causing me pain. Not just discomfort, actual pain. And when I realized that, I'm like, And then Office Depot had a sale, so I got a nice chair for not expensive. And I took yesterday, the first half of yesterday, and got it put together. It only took an hour and a half. It took exactly...
Good for doing it yourself.
Do what?
So it's pretty good for putting a chair together yourself.
Yeah. It took almost exactly 1 crow to put together. Because I started up, I hit play on the crow and grabbed my scissors and started opening the box. And about 10 minutes before it was over, I had a finished chair. So, nice. About an hour and a half. And then I went and helped the old man do stuff because Mom is still at Nana's. Nana is doing amazingly well. She's back home. She was released, I don't know, like a week and a half ago or something ridiculous like that. And she's coming along nicely. Like the physical therapist, on her last day in the hospital, the physical therapist wanted her to walk, I think it was 50 feet before they'd let her go home. And she said, hold my beer, although Nana doesn't drink beer, and walked like 94 feet, I think it was. Because, as I've said many times since this whole Nana thing happened, Nana's a badass.
That's great.
So yeah, she's back home now. The only problem is fluid buildup in various places, but even that is progressing well. So, hey, all right. But because Mom is gone, I went and helped the old man put a big-ass picture frame up on the wall, and we managed to not destroy the world. He used, like, it's a big-ass frame, right? It's like a 20 by 30. And it's not like wooden or anything, but it's big. And we put it up on the wall with command strips, with Velcro. And I'm like, are you serious? And he's like, no, it'll work. And I looked it up, and it said 4 will hold 25 pounds. And we weighed it, and the damn thing only weighed 16 pounds. Or no, 4 would hold 16 pounds, and we weighed it, and it only weighed like 10.2. And I was like, oh, all right. And then in the middle of the night, because we had thunderstorms last night, he heard this god-awful kaboom that woke him up. And he sat up in the bed and went, son of a bitch, the frame fell. And he got up and ran out and looked, and it was still on the wall. And he goes, "Oh, wait, what woke me up then?" And he said, just a minute later, it said "kablam" again, and he went, "Oh, that, okay." But so yeah, the parents are good, and Nana's good, and I'm getting life back together slowly. Jumping it up to 2 videos a day on YouTube has been great. Like, it's fun, but that means other things are falling by the wayside, like laundry and putting my chair. I had this chair for like a week now. Yeah, I picked it up last Friday. No, I picked it up Thursday because when Mike came over, it was here, and I said, I'm not going to ask you to help me put that together because that's messed up, because this is our date night, because it's Valentine's Day. So yeah, I had it a week. I finally put it together yesterday. And then, yeah, I'm getting the odds and ends caught up. Everything's awesome. More Smash Brothers and some Hearthstone will be coming up on the YouTube channel very soon. So yeah, hell yeah. I'm very excited about getting life back. The real reason we didn't record last week was me, because I was not in a proper headspace to do anything, it turns out. But I'm back on the upswing. Everything's good. Yay. But okay, enough talking. If you would like to help support what I do with all of this ridiculous amount of content creation, because don't forget there's 2 podcasts a week, Monday Night Magic and the Mana Pool. And then there's streams, ideally, besides the 2 podcasts, there's streams also on... Okay, wait. So Monday we do the show. Tuesday I don't stream. So the stream's on Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, in addition to Monday, Thursday for the 2 podcasts. So, yeah. And all the YouTube stuff. So all of this is all a solo thing. I do all the work and do all the everything and do all the everything. So and thank goodness that these guys come up with the ideas for the podcasts, I swear. Because if it was up to me, it would be like, I don't know, we're talking about monkeys.
That's an awesome idea.
We're going to do a Dirk's Creature Corner on apes. Then we can... Oh, as homework, we can watch the Planet of the Apes movies. Yes, the new ones. Not the old ones. With Dr. Zayas.
Like the Tim Burton one?
No, not the timber.
Hell no.
You said the new ones.
You shut your face hole.
The ones with Andy Serkis.
Yes. And Stark just said, here's why apes couldn't possibly exist in real life. Wait, Dirk, no. But anyway, so yes, if you want to help support all of that, you can become a lifeguard on patreon.com/themanapool, where you can get, well, there are several tiers of lifeguardship. The uncommon lifeguards get early access to Manapool episodes and YouTube videos. The rare lifeguards get the early stuff and access to the odds and ends, which is all the stuff recorded before and after both Monday Night Magic and the Mana Pool. That's uncensored and unfiltered, and in some case doesn't exist because I had damn desktop audio muted. Sorry about that, again, patrons. But those are going up again, and will be caught up within the week. Let's say by the time we record the next episode of the Mana Pool, they should be all caught up, except for possibly that week's episode of Monday Night Magic. Boom. And the Mythic Lifeguards get the early stuff, the odds and ends, and the sponsorship shout-out on both podcasts and on the end screen for all of the YouTube videos that go up during that month. So, uh-oh. Is Patreon going to load? Okay, good. I got an email saying that they were going into maintenance, but hey, it loaded. So I'd like to thank our Mythic Lifeguards, as per the deal. Kim Ho, Al, Paul David, Lance Delicious, Team You, Hellas How Are You, Connor Kennedy, John Morris, Alex Gonzalez, Jeff Spencer. Did he manage to disconnect the Bluetooth before I said your name? Because I tried to get it out quick. Stuart Slaw, PJ McMullen, Sophia Brattain, Casey, Fayen Says, Danny Liao, Jason Doan, Cody Buckowing, Jake Jansons, Jason Kaus, Gothic Man, Brian DeLucci, Stark Maximum, Keith Moody, John Parker, Aleph Cat, Dan Holm, Bartle, Mike Millerburn, and the Beast Father, Aaron Goodwine. Whew. By the way, that was Stark's name. So, with that, we're going to be done with this RPG episode of the Mana Pool. For those of you that enjoy the RPG episodes, I hope you enjoyed that. We actually got to smash things. And for those of you that don't worry. We'll be back doing something else next week. Theoretically. Maybe. Could we do 2 RPGs in a row? You think people would riot? I think people would riot.
I think people would riot.
I think Brian might riot.
I might riot.
Dirk might riot. Because, will you shut up so I can go to bed? All right, so... this has been the Mana Pool number 543. Thank you all so very much for listening or watching. And go play some Magic.